wife, the child, the mother, the son, the daughter, things like that. So the boss, the co-worker. So.
Okay, I got a foundational verse. It's in Genesis 1:27. It says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So our identity has already been set in God. So today's lesson is called, like I said, called identity theft. When we travel throughout the Bible, in the book of Daniel, you will see either your identity will remain in Christ, or we will allow the enemy to take our identity. Tasha, what's your name?
Natasha Nicole Smith.
Are you married?
I am.
Do you have kids?
I do.
Do you belong to Christ?
I do.
What type of personality do you have?
Bubbly.
Bubbly?
Bubbly.
Okay. Does your personality match the personality of your parents?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay, because the identity is a set of qualities, beliefs, personality traits, appearance, and expression that characterize a person or a group. Does Christ's identity change?
No.
Okay, because in Hebrews 13:8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So God's personality, beliefs, values, and experiences shows us who he is as a creator. So if God never changed, why do we change?
Because we're not God.
But we are created in his image.
Doesn't necessarily mean that we abide by the creation or the rules of his image.
But we are created in his image.
Right. That doesn't change. But we as a flesh do not necessarily abide by his image or his creation.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of Daniel.
Okay.
He is found in the Old Testament. He is one of the 5 major prophets, because you have Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Lamentation, and you have Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel tells you when Christ returns. A lot of people don't believe that, but if you read the book of Daniel and you rightly divide the word, it will tell you when he returns.
Okay.
The book of Daniel is parallel to the book of Revelation. Daniel revealed who are the 4 beasts in the Bible. Do you know who the 4 beasts are?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I don't want to embarrass myself, so I can
Go ahead. We ain't entitled to make mistakes.
Are we speaking of it in terms? I know it in terms of what countries it represents. So like Medo Persia.
That's one beast.
Rome.
That's another beast.
Babylonia.
That's another beast.
Okay. I can't remember the other one. So somewhat, but I can always be refreshed.
Greece.
Greece, okay.
Yeah. And Daniel reveals that the 4th beast will change time. You say, you know how we consider 12 a.m. is a new day? But Genesis 1:5 states that God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day. So when the evening comes, that's the beginning of a new day, not at 12 a.m. at night. So the 4th beast changed time.
Okay.
The law that he changed is the Sabbath. God's holy day is on the 7th day of the week, which is a Saturday and not Sunday.
Rome. Is this in reference to Rome?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I got a scenario for you. Since we are married, how many days should I love you?
Since we are married, how many days should you?
How many days a year should I love you?
365 days a year.
So there's one day out the year that we consider the covenant between me and you and God, right? What day is that?
November the 4th.
So do we tell everybody, should we let anybody tell us November the 5th is the day we had that covenant?
No.
So every day should be, I should love you every day out the year, right?
Correct.
But there's one day in remembrance that me and you made a covenant and made holy before God.
Correct.
So why should we let people tell us God holy day is a different day. We should worship God every day, but there's one day that he said, remember, for it is holy.
Okay.
So the enemy took that day, God's holy day, and took it and made it his day.
Okay.
That's also one thing that you will find in Daniel. And Daniel tells us that a beast is a kingdom.
Okay.
So let's get into the book of Daniel. Verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. So let's find out who Jehoiakim is. Jehoiakim he was the king of Judah. He was not a good king. He was a wicked ruler who engaged in oppression and injustice of his people. He enriched himself and at the expense of his own people. So really, he took advantage of his own people.
Okay.
His reign saw the return of corrupt practice and idolatry. So during his reign, corruption returned. So it had to be a time that there was no corruption in the land of Jerusalem. They all worship God. Remember when I asked you, did your characteristics match the characteristics of your own parents?
Mm-hmm.
So he was the son of Josiah. He was a king of Judah also. Josiah became king at the age of 8. He led a major spiritual renewal after discovering the book of the law in the temple. Josiah destroyed idols, centralized worship in Jerusalem, and led the people in renewing their covenant with God, making him one of Israel's best known kings. So as a result of Jehoiakim, I can't even say his name. I get his name messed up all the time, so forgive me for that. Jehoiakim wickedness, God declared judgment would fall upon Jehoiakim and his kingdom. This led to the Babylon siege of Jerusalem, the destruction of the temple, and the people being taken into exile. The prophet Jeremiah warned that there would be no mourning for Jehoiakim or his reign, and it would be criticized by the unrighteous. Can you read Jeremiah 25, 1 through 7, please?
Yes. Since the 70 years of captivity, the word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. That was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, which Jeremiah the prophet spoke to all the people of Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem. For 23 years, from the 13th year of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Judah, to this day, the word of the Lord has come to me, and I have spoken persistently to you, but you have not listened. You have neither listened nor inclined your ears to hear, although the Lord persistently sent you all his servants and prophets, saying, turn now every one of you from his evil way and evil deeds, and dwell upon the land of the Lord that has given to you and your fathers from old and forever. Do not go after other gods to serve and worship them, or provoke me to anger with the work of your hands. Then I will do you no harm. Yet you have not listened to me, declares the Lord, that you might provoke me to anger with the work of your hands from your own heart.
So did Jeremiah tell one person, or did he tell all people?
He told all people.
He told them to turn away from what?
The evil ways.
And do not serve what?
Any other god.
Or God will do what?
He'll be angry.
Right.
And he'll return in anger.
So can find 2 Chronicles 36.
Sure, 1 second. 36.
Yes, ma'am.
What verse?
5 through 8.
Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord his God. Against him came up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and bound him to chains to take him to Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar also carried out part of the vessels of the house of the Lord to Babylon and put them in his palace in Babylon.
Verse 8, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and the abominations that he did, and what was found against him, behold, they are written in the book of Kings of Israel and Judah, and Jehoiakim his son reigned in his place.
So he disregarded what Jeremiah told him to do, right?
Right.
So all those things came against him, right?
Yes.
And when those things came against him, he was led into the hands of who?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Okay, so who is Nebuchadnezzar?
The one who ends up being the king of Babylon.
Right, so Nebuchadnezzar was a powerful king, and he was a pagan worshiper, which means he worshiped other gods.
Okay.
He came to Jerusalem and besieged it with armed forces and captured them and forced them to surrender. So he cut off their supplies to starve the city and the inhabitants, and to cut off all escape routes and force surrender. There was no way in and no way out.
Okay.
So if there's no way in and no way out, so what did the people inside do?
They stood. Probably started to get scared. I'm just assuming. I'm not sure.
Right. Verse 2. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into the hands with some of the vessels of the house of God. So it's not like Jehoiakim gave himself up to Nebuchadnezzar. The Lord gave Jehoiakim to Nebuchadnezzar.
Okay.
See, and it said some of the vessels of the house of God. Vessels can be sacred pots and jars to hold water, wine, oil, and it can also mean people. Can you read Acts 9:15?
Yes. Acts 9:15. But the Lord said to him, "Go, for he is a chosen instrument of mine to carry my name before the Gentiles and the kings and the children of Israel."
Okay, when instruments, it says, but in the King James Version, it says vessels.
Mm-hmm.
So, instruments and vessels still the same. See, Noah's Ark is a prominent example of a physical vessel built for protection and preservation. A vessel means being a container or a channel for God's purpose.
Okay.
And he brought them to the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, and placed the vessels in the treasury of his God. So Nebuchadnezzar took all the vessels from the house of God and took them to the vessel of his God.
Okay. And did this anger the Lord?
Yeah, it always angered the Lord.
Okay.
But see, he took the vessels from a place that was considered holy and took them to a place that is considered not holy. Do you remember what happened in the Bible in the place of Shinar?
No.
That's the Tower of Babel.
Somewhat. Refresh memory, please, sir.
It's found in Genesis 11,
Okay.
verse 1 through 4. And it goes, now the whole world had one language and the same words. And the people migrated from the east. They found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. And they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly." And they had bricks for stone and bitumen for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its tops in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves. Let we be dispensed over the face of the earth, the whole earth." So Shinar means human pride, rebellion against God, and idolatry. It represents.
Is that a Greek word, a Hebrew word?
I didn't look that up.
I can look it up. Can you spell it?
Shinar.
Shinar. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
representing a center of opposition to God's people. The Tower of Babel in Shinar represent humanity attempt to reach heaven and make a name for themselves apart from God, leading to divine judgment. So when we separate ourselves from God, what happens?
For me, I feel disconnected and out of alignment.
Do you think they felt disconnected, or they want to create something better than God?
They want to create something better.
Okay. Verse 3. Then the king commanded Ashpenaz, his chief eunuch. What is a eunuch? Oh, okay. It's an impotent man, usually through castration, who is often served in a royal court. Some eunuchs are labeled as servants of God. The Bible doesn't say Daniel was turned into a eunuch, but we can almost believe that he was, because we never heard of him having any children or anything like that.
Okay.
Verse 4, it said, youth without blemish, of good appearance and skillful in all wisdom, endowed with knowledge, understanding, learning, competent to stand in the king's palace, to teach them the literature and the language of the Chaldeans. We as parents should teach our children. Once we let the world teach them, we lose them. So Nebuchadnezzar was trying to change the mindset and the way they speak. Verse 5. The king assigned them a daily portion of the food that the king ate, and of the wine that he drank. They were to be educated for 3 years, and at the end of the time, they were to stand before the king. So the king attempted to create a bond of dependence, gratitude, loyalty, by giving them the best of the best. So in other words, he was trying to bribe them. So he probably gave them steaks, lamb, something that a teenager wouldn't get when they ask their parents.
Okay.
Most of the time they want Burger King, McDonald's, Five Guys, Taco Bell. So he was trying to re-educate them. He was trying to retrain them. He was trying to create his own culture. Not the culture that God created, but the culture that his God had.
Okay.
And once you change the culture, what happens?
You get a shift. People disconnect from the Lord.
Right. You get a shift, and you get people to follow that the culture that you once believed in is no more. So you follow this other culture that might lead you down to idolatry. That's what Jehoiakim did. He left the culture that his dad recreated to form a culture that sin created. So it caused him to create wickedness again, idolatry again, worshiping God, but not the God of Almighty, not the creator of all things.
Okay.
Among these were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah of the tribe of Judah. Who is Hananiah? Do you know who is Hananiah? Mishael, Azariah? We don't know them by that name, do we?
No.
That's the name God gave them. Verse 7, and the chief of the eunuchs gave them names. Daniel he called Belshazzar. Ananiah he called Shadrach. Mishael he called Meshach. Azariah he called Abednego. Now you know Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? But that's not their real name. So the chief eunuch wanted to change their name to their culture. Because you got to realize ancient Israel took pride in naming their kids. Their names represent a bloodline that lasts for generations. Just like when our fathers when they name their kids, they name them Junior or etc. So Daniel, the name God gave Daniel name means God is my judge, or God has judged. So when his name got changed to Belshazzar, Baal is a Babylon god, also known as Marduk. He was the chief Babylon god. Hananiah's name that God gave him was the Lord is grace. His new name became Shadrach, which means command, honor, Aku, a servant of the moon god. Mashiach, his name is who is like God. His new name, Meshach, who is like Aku. Azariah, his name that God gave him, represents the Lord helps. His new name became Abednego, servant of Nebo, another Babylonian god, god of learning and writing. This was how the king attempted to change the religion loyalty of these young men from Judah God to Babylon God. So if you don't know who you are in God, if you let somebody come in and change your name, you'll catch that identity. Do you have a nickname or back in the day a street name that everybody knew you as?
I do.
Oh, okay. Does that name represent you now?
No, absolutely not.
Because you know who you are, right?
Absolutely.
You know where your identity stands.
Absolutely.
Correct. Verse 8. But Daniel resolved that he would not defile himself with the king's food or with the wine that he drank. Therefore, he asked the chief of the eunuchs to allow him not to defile himself. Verse 9. And God gave Daniel favor and compassion in the sight of the chief of the eunuchs. Daniel knew the food that he would have ate was corrupt and bad. It wasn't good food. So being obedient to God, God will show you favor, right?
Correct.
Okay. Verse 10. You have any questions?
No, I do, but I'm going to save them for the end. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 10. And the chief of the eunuchs said to Daniel, I fear my lord, the king, who assigned your food and your drink. For why should he see that you were in worse condition than the youth who are of your own age? So Daniel wanted veggies and water, while the other young men probably wanted, in our modern day time, Burger King, McDonald's. They wanted unhealthy food. What'd you say?
Chipotle.
Yeah, Chipotle. But you know, Chipotle got little veggies up in it. So what happens when you eat right versus when you eat healthy?
Physically, it's a detox for your body. It's a sense of cleanliness. Your body just operates better, functions better off of healthy food versus junk food.
Okay. Then Daniel said to the steward, whom the chief of the eunuchs has assigned over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, test your servant for 10 days. Let us be given vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then let our appearance and the appearance of the youth who eat the king's food be observed by you, and deal with your servants according to what you see. So Daniel had to test them. Daniel found a way to live by God's standards in a culture that did not honor God. Now comes a test of faith. And God's people, we can adjust to a culture if we don't compromise God's law. Verse 14. So he listened to them in this matter and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the days, it was seen that they were better in appearance and fatter in the flesh than all the youth that ate from the king's food looked it worse. So when you eat healthy, what you look like?
Your skin clears up, you glow, your tone, all of that.
Right. Verse 16. So the steward took away their food and the wine they were to drink and gave them vegetables. Verse 17. And these 4 youth, God gave them learning and skills in all literature and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. So God gave them, what did you just say?
Clarity.
Clarity. So he gave them a reset mind.
Reset, he realigned your mind.
Yeah, so when you eat healthy, you have a clear mind, you get a better understanding. So when you eat unhealthy, what happens?
You got brain fog, you cloudy, can't see, confused,
You eat the wrong food. Go ahead.
Lack of energy.
So what do we need most of the day to get clarity, have a clear mind? Most people in modern day time.
I'll start off with a cup of coffee. Prayer and coffee.
Prayer, I understand, but coffee, give a little, take a little. Just depends. Where I'm at, verse 18. Verse 18. At the end of time, when the king had commanded that they should be brought in, the chief of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. Verse 19. And the king spoke to them, and among all of them none was found like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. Therefore they stood before the king. So after Daniel and his 4 friends ate according to God's will, they looked better than the youth that Nebuchadnezzar had. So he was trying to figure out, they over here eating vegetables, but I'm giving my youth food off of my court, which is probably bad. They probably eat pig feet, pork chops, stuff like that. So when you eat pig feet, pork chop, what happens?
You get high blood pressure, cholesterol issues.
Become
guilty of speaking, but yes. Those things, you get those things.
You become fat.
Yeah, you gain weight. Yes.
Become a diabetic.
Yes, you do.
So,
high cholesterol, high blood pressure, which is what I'm currently dealing with, yes.
Right. So when you eat right, you feel right. You look good. But when you eat bad, you feel bad, you look bad. Verse 20. And in every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king inquired about them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters that were in all his kingdoms. And Daniel was there into the first year of King Cyrus. So that's the end of chapter 1 of Daniel. What are your questions?
So is it possible the eunuch is our common day armor bearer that we know in church? Is the eunuch the same thing as an armor bearer or an example of it in some form?
You can consider that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the king would be represented as the preacher or whatnot, so he have his armor bearer. So the armor bearer do the work of the preacher, yeah.
Okay. Is the food that was eaten, did Daniel pretty much go back to the earlier part of the Old Testament where you were to eat clean food versus unclean food?
Yes,
he
ma'am.
just removed the meat part of it, where the animals with the 2 hooves. He just focused on the vegetables and the fruit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's what he did.
Okay.
Any more questions?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. Well, this will conclude today's Bible study. I hope it be a lesson that you will reread, take in, do your own research, and let the Spirit lead you where the Spirit needs to be.
Awesome job.
And we will see you this next second Saturday in February. Unless the Spirit tell me to do something else.
Awesome. Thank you.
Until then,